What's up, guys? Today's lesson is going to be, first, I want your notebooks out. You're going to be doing some problems for me about something called, it's all dealing with triangles today. And the fancy word for this that we're learning today, it's called the Triangle Sum Theorem. And we're going to break that apart. The word sum means addition. We're adding, okay? So sum, and theorem basically means, in this situation, it's a formula. It's basically a statement that is true, that is always true when it's dealing with triangles. So we're dealing with addition, a formula, and triangles. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and draw a triangle. I want you guys to do the same. It's not going to be a right triangle. Not going to be a right triangle, even though it looks like one, it's not. And then I'm just going to label the angles just for fun. This one's going to be called A, B, C. Okay? A plus B plus C. This is what the triangle sum theorem is. A plus B plus C is always going to be 180 degrees. Triangles always equal 180 degrees. So I almost want you to just have this visual. If I was in the class, all the angles added up equal 180 degrees. Okay? So now, when we go about trying to solve something like this, what if you're given a triangle? Give you kind of a weird one look there, right? Weird looking triangle. If this degree was 120 degrees, and this one was 20 degrees, we'll put that one as X. Okay? Or not X, we put it as a question mark, but question marks basically equal X, okay? You're trying to figure out what the question mark does equal. Now, if you wanted to set this up in a formula, an equation, or the formula, 20 plus 120 plus what? Plus X, all equals 180. Do you see how that makes sense? All three angles in the triangle add up to 180. All right? Pretty simple, pretty simple. If you were doing this in your head, many of you could, but if you were just to do this, solving the equation with your equation skills, that's perfect. That's what I want to see. 140 equals 180. And then to get this by itself, you have to use your equation skills. I want to get X all alone, right? To get X all alone, you have to subtract 140 from both sides. And what do you get? 40 degrees. Okay? Not too difficult, but they do get more challenging with this variable. The equations are going to change up a little bit. All right, so let me give you another triangle. All right, here's your triangle. What if I said this is going to be called 2x, this is called 120 again, and this is called 30. All right, how would you set up the equation? What would the equation look like? Would you do 2x plus 120 plus 30 all equals 180? Remember, all of these, if you add them up, they all equal 180. All together, not individually, all together. When you add them up all together. Now, how are you going to solve this equation? Can we combine those like terms? First step, 120 plus 30 is 150. Then what do we do? What's the next equation step? We got to get rid of what 150? Bring down the 2x. 30. X equals 15. Now that's the thing. Did we want to know what x equaled? Or do we want to know the missing triangle or missing angle? I didn't give you a clear answer on that, but x equals 15. That's great information. If it was asking for x, we would be done. But what if it was asking for the missing degree, the missing angle? What's the degree going to be? Well, this is a missing one. This is 120. This is 30. This is, well, 15 times 2, 30 degrees. Isn't it 2x? So 2x means 2 times x. And what did we find out x was? 15. That was a pretty simpler one too. There's one more thing I want to talk about before we get into the actual computer part of this. There is a thing called, write this down as well. I ran out of room a little bit, but there's a fancy thing. I would put a poster like this up in my room if I could. I would have this here. That's a V. That would be called vertical. I'll use a different color down here. Vertical angles. So vertical angles look like this, where they're just basically a big X. And what you're going to have, the answer to vertical angles equal each other. So if you have a vertical angle here, and this is 22 degrees right here, guess what? This is also going to be 22 degrees. They're always going to be the same measurement. Well, why am I talking about this? Because later on in your lesson, let me see if I can actually find the actual picture of it. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. These two angles are going to be congruent. Okay? So you're going to figure out what this missing angle is. And then once you figure that out, that's going to be the same as this angle. And then you can figure out that missing angle. That's a tough problem. That's the toughest problem we're going to do today. All right. Sorry, excuse me. Got some in my throat. So looking at this first problem, I actually already answered it. How many degrees are measured in the interior angles of a triangle? 180. Triangle Sum Theorem states all three angles in a triangle must add up to 180 degrees. Okay? It's very important that you understand that. Now, what about this problem? How would you solve this problem? Which formula would you use? We're pretty sure we know it's A plus B plus C. But now in the Edpuzzle, I want you guys to actually solve this. So what would you do? 80 plus 40 plus X equals 180. What is the missing angle here? All right. And the next question, what about this problem? What is the missing angle on this one? Use your notebook if you need to show your work. This one takes a little bit of work, but if you were to use your calculator, and I can even just go straight back to, what's it, 51 and 62? 51, 62. This is how easy it can be. 51 plus 62, oops, I meant plus, equals 113. 180 minus 113, 67 degrees, okay? 67 degrees. And let's get into the ones that are a little more challenging. All right, this is a great one. Why don't you write this down in your notebook? I'm going to do the same. Go ahead and write this one down. I'm going to do the same. We're going to do a couple of these challenging ones. This one's a great one. So it's 5 plus 5x. Write it down. Notice we have a 90 degrees in here. You see where 90 degrees is. All right, I'm going to go ahead, write this down. I'm going to go ahead and go to my camera where I have written down already. 5 plus 5x, 90 degrees, right? Can't we just write 90 degrees and 50 degrees? How are you going to solve this? 90 plus 50 plus. All right, I wrote down all three angles. And what do they all equal? 180. Why don't you guys try and solve this? If you need a little help, a little push in the right direction, remember, my mustache got a little bigger there. These are all like terms. Why don't you go ahead and try to solve this one? All right. So x equals 7. But what if I didn't care about what x is? What if I wanted to know what the degree was? All right. This angle equals 5 plus 5x. 5 plus 5x. Well, what's 5 times x? So let's just go ahead. 5 plus 5 times x. Isn't that what it says? We'll put x here so you can see that. Well, what's x? 7? Okay, cool. 5 times 7 is what? 35. 35 plus 5? 40 degrees. All right. So that's pretty interesting how that all works out. You guys are going to start to get the hang of this. Don't worry. Don't worry at all. Let's go back to one more problem. Let's see what we can do here. How about we do this last one here? You guys go ahead and try to solve this one on your own. I will show you the formula in a second. All right, I have 105 plus x plus 81 all equals 180. I decided to add here first. I should have also added I did this part first quick, but then 105 plus 81. Let me see if I got my numbers right too. I did. So this one's going to be interesting. This is a great problem. 105 and 81 we bring together still. That's going to be 185, 186. They want to know what x is. If I tell you what x is going to be I'm going to subtract. X equals -6. Isn't that interesting? Negative. Now you have a negative number. Okay, kind of interesting. And that's a great call. I like that. All right, you have a quizzes that I wanted to be done for homework. This is the most important, though, to get attendance credit. Do the quizzes for homework, and I will see you next week, guys.